13 years. That's how long an hour lasted in my house. She left 3 children at my door. Her children, my grandchildren, said she'd be back in an hour. She smiled, too calm, too careless. I remember watching her car roll down the street, thinking I'd see her headlights return before night fell. But the night turned into years. And now, 13 years later, she stands in court with a lawyer, pointing at me like I'm a kidnapper. The judge studies me. My hand rests on the envelope. Heavy, final. He asks, "Do they know about this?" I say, steady as stone, "Not yet." I wasn't always this cold. Once, I was a mother who believed her daughter's lies. She had always been restless, reckless, chasing men who broke her down and left her in pieces. I patched those pieces together, paid her debts, fed her children, told myself she'd grow up one day. But then came that hour. The hour that became my life. At first, I was naive enough to think something had happened, an accident, a delay, maybe even an arrest. Days passed, weeks. I went to her apartment, empty. I called her friends. They shrugged. She had vanished into her own selfish orbit again. The children cried every night. They asked where their mother was. I told them stories. She was working, traveling, busy. I lied to protect them from the truth. But the truth gnawed at me. She had abandoned them. Betrayal leaves clues before it strikes. I saw it years earlier. The way she looked at her children like they were burdens instead of blessings. The way she talked about freedom with a hunger in her voice. The night she asked me, joking, not joking, wouldn't life be easier without them? I laughed it off then, but I remembered. So when she didn't come back, I wasn't surprised. Not really. Just wounded. Like the final blow had been prepared long before. But unlike her, I didn't collapse. I didn't run. I planned. I went to a lawyer of my own. I filed for guardianship. I collected every scrap of paper she ever left behind. Letters, bank statements, her signed note that night, written hastily on the back of a utility bill, "Ma, just an hour, please, I need you." I kept it all in an envelope. My shield, my weapon. I raised the children as mine. School runs, scraped knees, graduation gowns. I sat through their tears and their triumphs. I was mother and father, anchor and compass. And in the quiet hours of the night, when they slept, I sharpened my patience like a blade. I knew one day she would come back, not for love, for leverage. 13 years later, my doorbell rang. She didn't come alone. She came polished, with a lawyer beside her. She spoke like a stranger rehearsing lines. "You kidnapped my children. You kept them from me. I want them back." Her lawyer nodded like this was truth, like I was a thief. But thieves steal in the dark. I had lived in the light. I said nothing, just folded the envelope tighter in my hand. The courtroom smelled of old wood and dust. The children sat in the back, nearly grown now. They looked at her the way you'd look at a stranger who shares your blood, but not your soul. Confusion, distance. Her voice cracked as she painted herself a victim. She wept on cue. Told the judge I manipulated everything, that I poisoned them against her. And then it was my turn. I didn't shout, didn't cry. I simply placed the envelope on the judge's bench. He opened it. Out slid her note from 13 years ago. Out came the signed guardianship papers, the child support she never paid, the letters she sent to men instead of her kids. Each page was a mirror, each word her own betrayal. The judge's face changed as he read, cold, disbelieving, stunned. Then he looked at me and asked, almost softly, "Do they know about this?" "Not yet," I said. Not yet, because I never poisoned their hearts against her. I let them keep a soft corner, a fragile hope. But that hope would die on its own now, with evidence sharper than any story I could tell. She broke. Right there, in court. The mask slipped. She cursed me, cursed the children, screamed that we ruined her life. But the truth was simple. She abandoned it. The gavel fell. Case dismissed. Custody affirmed. She left empty. That night, the children, my children, really, sat at the table. They asked what happened in court. I told them only what they needed. She made her choice. We made ours. They didn't press. They didn't need to. I slipped the envelope back into the drawer. One day, when they're ready, I'll hand it to them. They'll read her words, not mine. They'll see who walked away and who stayed. 13 years ago, she gave me an hour. I turned it into a lifetime. And when she tried to steal it back, I gave her nothing. Because revenge doesn't always come with fire and fury. Sometimes it comes with silence, patience, and a single envelope, waiting for the right moment to be opened. I don't regret it.